We're going to talk about leveling valves on air spring suspensions or airbag suspensions. This is going to be the single leveling valve application and why I'm not going to put it on my dump truck, and the big reason why most people have problems off-roading with an Air Glide 100 system with the single leveling valve. So I've had to learn a lot about these trucks, and I'm going to try and explain this to you guys because I haven't found a video on YouTube about it yet, unfortunately. So this is my dumbass YouTube perspective on how an Air Glide 100 system should work and why nobody likes them for off-road dump trucking purposes. The big part that is going to bite you on the single leveling valve is all the bags are tied together, and that's one of the big reasons that nobody liked them, is because when you go around a corner it loads the wrong way and it makes the truck feel really squirrely and people would tip them over. So when you start, the leveling valve is all the way down, so we're going to say that this is probably about our ride height, and then I'm just going to kind of climb up there, and I'm going to be the load of this truck, basically. So this 2x6 down here is going to simulate our axle, and then our wheels are the blocks on each side, and your axle should never come up off the ground, and your axle's not actually moving. What's moving is the truck. So this would be the back axle. We're technically looking at the back of the truck. And so behind me would be the front of the truck. So let's make a right-hand corner. So when you make a right-hand corner, we're going to load the left-hand side of the truck. So we're going to load the left-hand side of the truck, and guess what? We loaded the left-hand side of the truck, and it pushed all the air into the right side, and now we're basically trying to tip the truck over. But when you're going down the road, as it was intended to, you've got a really good ride, and going straight down the road for a semi-truck, it works really good. Okay, so this is the two leveling valve setup. Notice how the leveling valves are on the outside of the truck's frame rails. Well, that's not really going to happen. They'll both be inside the truck's frame rails, so they won't get ripped off. So the blue air hose here, it comes into the top of the leveling valve, and then this is the common between the two leveling valves, and then this orange air line from the compressor goes into the dump side of the valve. So the valves already have the dump built into them, so this is like the common dump line. And then you can see that off of each leveling valve we have the airbags individually. So even though it's one bag on this prop, it'd be 4 bags on each side of the truck. So the 4 on the left side would be tied together, and the 4 on the right side would be tied together. So I'm going to use my body as the weight in the truck. So we're going to dump the air out of the leveling valves, like we're going to dump the load out of the truck with. And so it's putting air to the leveling valve and just bleeding the air out of the bag through the bottom of the valve. Okay, so we're not really losing any air. That's just the fitting leaking. And so when you actuate the airbag dump in the cab, it will put pressure to the valve and release the bag. And then as soon as you flip the switch in the cab, okay, so with the bags all bled off, we'll get up here like we did on the other one. Okay, and when I let go of it, it should come up all at once. Okay, we got good stability in the middle here, just like with the single leveling valve. And then if I step on this one side, so like if we were going to go around a corner to the right, it actuates that side and lifts this bag up. And what it's doing over there is it should be draining that bag. And because I'm not very heavy, you can't hear it actively draining. But I'm not tipping the truck over like I was with the single leveling valve. So let's try the other side. You can kind of hear that side going down. And this side definitely firmed up. So now I'm going to go back to the middle. And we've got a good ride and it's very stable. So this is the height control valve on the Kenworth T6800. It technically doesn't matter. It's all an Air Glide 100 system. So